Welcome to today's Explainer. Honestly, I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here today because we're setting our sights on something, well, truly awe-inspiring. We are going to explore the absolute upper limits of human ambition in the built environment. We're talking about extreme, unadulterated luxury. So I want you to get ready to totally shift your perspective because we're looking at concepts that push the very boundaries of what's possible when massive vision meets infinite possibility.
To kick things off, I want you to start by asking yourself this question. What is the true peak of luxury? Go ahead and close your eyes for just a second. Actually, scratch that. Keep them open if you're driving. But you know what I mean. Just imagine the absolute zenith of the built environment. What does the highest possible standard of living even look like? It's a pretty fascinating mental exercise, right? Because sure, luxury is subjective, but when we push it to its absolute limits, it transforms into something else entirely.
And that brings us perfectly to the exact source material we are deconstructing in our explainer today. We are looking at a highly conceptual, incredibly ambitious text. Here it is. Excerpts from the Pinnacle of Architectural Opulence, the most luxurious homes ever built. And that's it, just 12 words. But the sheer weight, the massive ambition packed into this single solitary phrase is absolutely staggering. So we're going to unpack the huge concepts hiding right in plain sight within this sentence.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, defining architectural opulence, breaking down the weight of the words. Let's start with the word opulence. Sure, it implies great wealth, but notice the nuance here. It's luxuriousness specifically expressed. We aren't just talking about a giant number sitting in a bank account, no. We're talking about a physical, tangible manifestation of ultimate wealth. It's heavy, it's grand, and it physically occupies real-world space.
So the crucial point we need to take away here is that opulence is way more than mere wealth. It is wealth made visible. Architectural opulence goes so far beyond simply having money. It's about the deliberate, totally intentional expression of that wealth through physical structures. It's like taking the abstract concept of unlimited resources and literally carving it into stone, glass, marble, and light. It's a massive statement carved right into the landscape itself.
Moving right along to Section 2, reaching the pinnacle. What does a peak actually look like?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the absolute finality of the word pinnacle, the culmination, the highest peak. By definition, achieving a pinnacle means absolutely nothing can go higher. It is the summit, period. So when our source text claims the pinnacle of architectural opulence, it's setting a bar that literally cannot be surpassed. It's not just great, it is the definitive best.
To really grasp this, let's look at this comparison. I mean, think about us. For most of us in everyday housing, we get a little thrill when we discover, say, a really good working dishwasher. Or maybe we get super excited because a room has an extra electrical outlet exactly where we need it. It's practical, right? It's functional. But architectural opulence, the pinnacle, that is a mythical peak where practicality is entirely replaced by pure, unadulterated grandiosity. It's the difference between a roof that simply keeps the rain out and a roof that totally redefines an entire city skyline.
All right, Section 3, the most luxurious homes, the implicit characteristics of the extreme.
Okay, so if a home is going to claim to be the most luxurious, it logically demands some extreme characteristics. Let's unpack the implicit vibe here. First, unmatched scale. It can't just be a big house. It must be remarkably, overwhelmingly vast. Next, peak design and craftsmanship, where literally every millimeter is perfectly considered. Then extreme exclusivity. It has to be a total rarity, completely inaccessible to the masses. And finally, historical weight. A structure like this isn't just built for today, it's built to echo through time. And that actually brings us to the most audacious part of the source material. Look at this phrase, ever built. This is a claim of a historical absolute. We're not talking about the most luxurious homes of the decade or even the century. We're saying ever built. From the ancient pyramids to grand cathedrals all the way up to modern megaspires since the actual dawn of humanity. It's an incredibly bold, almost staggering statement that demands we look at these structures not just as buildings, but as the ultimate historical triumphs of human construction. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact journey required to fulfill the promise of our source text. You literally cannot achieve the most luxurious homes ever built without these 3 steps in perfect alignment. 1. It starts with a boundless vision, an imagination with zero limits. 2. It requires infinite resources to actually execute that wild vision. And 3. Only then do you achieve that final pinnacle result. It's a flawless, absolutely uncompromising chain of events.
Which brings us to Section 4,
Rethinking extreme luxury, the philosophical takeaway. I want you to think about those words one last time. The most luxurious homes ever built. You know, this phrase isn't just a fancy label for high-end real estate. It's actually a mirror reflecting human ambition. It shows our innate, almost primal desire to conquer our environment, to leave a permanent, beautiful mark on the earth, and to stretch the absolute limits of what human hands and minds can construct. The sheer scale required to fulfill this statement is a total testament to the heights of our imagination.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, it leaves me with one final, deeply personal question for you to ponder. We've explored the absolute zenith of architectural opulence conceptually today, but if you had infinite resources, if you possessed boundless vision, if you could build the pinnacle, what would it look like? What would be your ultimate expression of wealth made visible? Keep that image right there in your mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and until next time, keep thinking big.